The International Christian Embassy Jerusalem is your embassy in the heart of Israel, founded in 1980. From our headquarters in Jerusalem through our branches in over 80 nations and yours in Canada, we seek to challenge the Church to take up its scriptural responsibilities, to remind Israel of the promises made to her in the Bible, and to be a source of practical assistance to all the people in the land of Israel.
Our book tells the story of an Israeli-based charity with humble beginnings. We started very small, and we have grown into one of the largest global healthcare humanitarian organizations of its kind in the world today. Nurses, staff, volunteers, and children, 3,300 children from 48 countries. The title of our book, Mending Hearts, Building Bridges, coined by Peter Silverman, who's a member of our advisory board, really tells the whole story in 4 words. It shows how you can focus on mending hearts of children living in countries, some countries that are sometimes hostile towards Israel, that doing our work not only mends hearts, but helps to build bridges of understanding across borders and across continents. We are fortunate to have with us tonight an incredible panel of doctors. We have Dr. Bernie Goldman, former chairman of SACH Canada. We have Dr. Wafik Othman. Wafik is a Palestinian anesthesiologist. He was trained under the Save a Child's Heart Medical Outreach Training Program, and he now practices anesthesia in the West Bank. And we have Dr. Yayu Mikonen. Dr. Yayu is a young general surgeon who has come to Israel for 5 years to train as the first pediatric cardiac surgeon in his country, Ethiopia, a country of 90 million people. And here, soon to arrive, is our Israeli surgeon, Dr. Hagi Dekel. He is in Toronto for 2 years, for 1 year in Sunnybrook and 1 year at Sick Kids, and he will return next summer to Israel as the official second surgeon with our team. Lastly, we're really happy to have Craig Offman here tonight, a writer with the Globe and Mail, who will be our moderator, and I turn it over to you.
Thanks very much, Karen. I want to start with Bernie. Bernie, can you tell us where the inspiration from SACH came?
The original inspiration came from a young American surgeon named Ami Cohen, who I met while he was at the Sick Children's here doing a year of pediatric cardiac surgery. Being an Orthodox Jew, he emigrated to Israel, where his parents had lived originally, and he teamed up with a surgeon that I knew for 40-odd years as a children's heart surgeon. The only thing is the Ministry of Health wasn't giving them permission to do children's heart surgery. But through some of his army contacts, before he knew it, he had 2 children from Ethiopia who he had agreed to operate upon. These children had never been to the sea, had never been in an airplane, had never really been outside their little village. They did well, and there came 4 children, then 6 children, then 8 children, swimming in the pool of Netanya, where his parents kept them as well. And before you knew it, they had a program that had reached out, and they got permission to open an official children's heart program, and that was in 1995.
You've been on both sides of the fences in 2 hospitals on both sides of the fences. It's a rare experience. Tell us what that's like. What does that mean for a doctor to be working on both sides of the fences? What is
more experience?
More experience, better on the resume.
Yes, I would tell you. It's sometimes, they have in West Bank children. He's born with congenital heart disease, and he needs operation now, in few hours. And they call me, and I call Dr. Tamir, and we take him in 2-3 hours to the operating room to Wolfson.
Across the board.
Across the border, yes.
How is what you do viewed back at home?
90% of people is very happy, and that I know, people that I know, is very happy, and they support me, and they tell me it's a very great job.
Agi, welcome. How long have you been doing what you're doing?
So I started at Wolfson Medical Center doing adult and congenital from the beginning on, which was 9 years ago. I graduated, I think 2 years ago, I became senior, and I was staff for 1 year, and then I was sent to Canada for 2 years to doing adult and congenital. If you think about the organization and what it stands for and what we are doing, and sometimes it's very nice words and everything is all around and you don't understand it truly. And just jump to my head, for instance, like, you know, in Israel there are a few countries around us who don't like us very much, and sometimes we have conflict between them. And just in the last conflict, when we had some bombs coming from Gaza to our cities, we had a bomb just hitting the like 500 to 600 meter away from the hospital in the junction. So what struck me the most is that we stopped everything. We went to see that there is no casualties in the street and everything is okay. And I walked back and I entered the operating room to operate on a girl from Gaza, who her mother was waiting outside, and he told her, don't worry, everything will be okay. And she has to worry about her girl inside, and it's a wartime outside. And you go into the operating room, and one of the assisting doctor is an Israeli Arab. The girl is from Gaza. The one who runs the pump machine is also Israeli Arab. The anesthetist could be from the Palestinian Authority. And everyone don't care about anything. We just worry about one thing: to make the surgery right, to heal the girl, the child who was on the table, and make sure that everything goes right with her. Usually we hear the news or we hear music on the background, so in those days we simply close everything not to hear anything. And we just focus on the children. And I think, when it happened, I didn't think about it much, but now when I think about it, it really represents the whole idea of the project. Like, a child is a child, no matter where he came from, no matter of the situation or what's happening around. And this is what we are doing. And the mother outside, it doesn't matter for me if she just came from Gaza, where the bombs are coming now. A child is a child, the mother is the mother. And let's fix her, let's make sure that she will be healed and have a normal life, and leave the rest for the politics.
Fantastic, thank you.
And there's coming Israel journalist and ask one question for Dr. Sasson, with the surgeon, and ask him, you are operating girl from Gaza. You don't think this girl, when she's grown up, will come to Israel and kill Israel children? Dr. Sasson looks to him and looks to me and told him, yes, I think this girl, when she grows up, she returned to Israel and doing peace between Israel and Palestine. This is what is meaning in Save the Child, building bridges. Peace program. Also.
There's two essences to Save a Child's Heart, and I'm taking advantage of the microphone just to wrap it up for you. Mending hearts, from acute little newborns to kids who are 5 or 6 or 7 or teens, mainly with rheumatic fever from Africa, Asia, Eastern Europe, mainly with congenital heart disease, things that they're born with in the Mideast. And that's the point of fixing them. The kids from Africa come often anemic, with parasites, with tuberculosis, with malaria, and all that has to be looked after while they're in hospital. So that's the essence of mending hearts. The essence of building bridges is what you see right here. The entire SACH team is voluntary. They receive only their Ministry of Health salary, whether they're in Tanzania, whether they're helping a surgical team in Moldova or Romania, etc. You have a Jew, a Christian, and a Muslim, So this is the essence of building bridges. And the essence of doing what's right in humanitarian aid is to train others to be as good as you are back in their own home. So we are currently training a doctor from the West Bank to be a pediatric surgeon at Ramallah. It's like St. Michael's training somebody to go to the Toronto General, but Ramallah is on the other side of the fence. But we will be working with them. Training 5 doctors and 3 nurses for the Ramallah team. Yeah. Building bridges, mending hearts. Thank you all for coming, but one thing, that book may have been started by me, but it was finished by Karen Diamond and Wendy Jacobs, who converted it from a kind of academic tome to a beautiful coffee table book. Thanks for coming.
We're at Indigo's in downtown Toronto for the launch of the Mending Hearts and Building Bridges book. And it's created by Save a Child's Heart. And with me I have our daughter, Meredith Holbrook, who is a photographer of many of the pictures that you see within this beautiful coffee table book. Meredith, would you like to explain a little bit about what's in here?
Inside of the book, we have many photos of children who have either had surgery previously or were to have surgery. They also show the families that have been impacted by Save a Child's Heart. One of the most amazing stories that happened to me during the year and a half time that I was with Save a Child's Heart was near the end when I was able to travel to Mwanza, Tanzania for 1 week, where they gave free heart surgery to children. They trained a doctor, Dr. Godwin Godfrey, for 5 years, as well as training other doctors in the hospital and giving more medical supplies, as well as doing follow-ups on children that had already had heart surgery in Israel as well as in Tanzania before. The most amazing case that we had during that time was of a child named Juma who was not scheduled to have heart surgery and came in for checkup and collapsed on the floor. Juma's about 3 to 4 years old, a little adorable child from Tanzania who came in with his mother, and he had been working off of 30% oxygen for his entire life, which limits him to playing, to taking part in school, to doing anything besides sleeping. So Juma comes in and he collapses on the ground. The nurses make up a reason to have the surgery, emergency surgery, the next morning. Not really telling the doctors exactly how difficult the case was, because he was a very, very severe case, and the doctors were not necessarily prepared for such a severe case. However, when they opened up his heart, they found out that they were in some trouble. But regardless of all the setbacks and the limited supplies, they were able to change this little boy's life. And within a day, there was extreme changes, and overwhelming amount of life came back into this little boy. And just a day after that, he was able to run for the first time in his life.
How did you feel about that?
Well, it's amazing seeing the change of a sick boy or a sick child turn into a healthy one in just a matter of hours, really, in that sense. And that is what Save a Child's Heart is about in that way, is that they really do give life back to children that had no other hope besides Save a Child's Heart.
100% of what we receive from you toward a project goes to that designation. Through your contribution to ICEJ Canada, you can participate by giving to Bet Singer Children's Orphanage Bathrooms, Christian Friends of Yad Vashem, Home for Holocaust Survivors, Israeli Youth at Risk Summer Camp in Canada, Operation Life Shield Bomb-Proof Shelters, Red Carpet Project Women at Risk in Tel Aviv, Shoulder to Shoulder New Immigrant Partner Project, Women's Shelter Project, General Fund, Gift Estate Securities Funds, ICEJ Communication Media Fund.